Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this 90th birthday card. I'm going to stick to the same colour scheme, and to start with I'll tell you the card pieces that you'll be needing. The card base is in rose red and it measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres. In inches it's scored at 4 1/8 inch in the centre and folded, and centimetres that's 10.5 centimetres and folded. Then you need 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, that's one for the centre. Both of them should measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. You'll need a piece of the Irresistibly Floral Specialty Designer Series paper, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. There are actually 2 designs that are ideal for what I'm planning to show you today. This is one of them. I will show you the other one towards the end. So this is 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. Then you will need a piece of Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer paper, which measures 3 inches by 3 inches, which is 7.6 by 7.6 centimetres. You need a piece of rose red cardstock, which is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inches, which is 7 by 7 centimetres. Another piece of Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer paper, which measures 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, which is 6.3 by 6.3 centimetres. A piece of rose red cardstock, which measures 2 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches, which is 5.7 by 3.8 centimetres. And another piece of Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer paper, which measures 2 3/8 inches by 1 5/8 inches, which is 6 by 4.1 centimetres. So the main part of what I want to show you on this card today is how I brayer the colour onto here and how I decorate this particular design. As I say, there is another design that you could do this too. So what I start off with doing is I get my ink, which is rose red, and I get one of our sponge Brayers. And I have to say, when I first saw these, I wasn't particularly impressed with them because they looked just too flimsy. But since I started using them, they are brilliant. Right, now what we need to do is to get the ink onto here and then roll it on here. With the brayer, you have to roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift onto the ink. If you just do backwards and forwards, you'll only get ink on the bit that's rolling that way. Okay, so, and the other thing that I found doing this, I don't try doing a soft colour. I like the deep colours, plus the fact that you have to be very, very watchful if you want a light colour. You'll see what I mean as I go down, how easy this is to get the dark colour. So that's roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift. So no matter what you think I'm doing here, I really am lifting as I come up, and it means that I'm getting colour all the way round. Okay, and that's all I do. I just keep on doing this until I have the whole sheet covered. Sometimes I'm rolling this as a continuous bit, other times I'm rolling it as back, roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift. So I'm going to roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift some more on the ink. So let's turn that around. And it really is up to you how deep you go with your colour. As you see, it's very easy to get lines and things, but if you're going to go for the deepest colour, which is what I tend to do, it doesn't matter because eventually it all gets covered up. I just keep on putting the colour on until the colour comes up really, really beautifully. Needless to say, I do have other cards that I've done doing the specialty paper. I've done 4 of the designs altogether, I think. So you could see what they come up like if you brayer them. 3 of the patterns are just patterns rather than fancy bits like flowers and things. There's one that's stripes, one that's hollow circles, and the other one is diamond, like diagonal lines crossing each other so they form diamonds. Right, there we go. I think that's okay. I'm not going for perfection. I think that would probably take too long. So once you've finished doing that and you're happy, what you need to do is, first of all, let's put this somewhere safe that I'm not going to get it spilt onto, or knocked onto things. So what you need to do next is, once you've finished doing all your painting, or brayering rather, it's not painting, if you take a sheet of kitchen roll and then go over this, it will take most of the colour off so that the embossing on there really pops. Okay, so you see what comes up. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to not use this sheet. It probably is as dry as it needs to be, but I'm going to use a sheet that I've used earlier. In fact, looking at it, my previous sheet looks as if it's come up quite a bit darker. I obviously did this longer than I did that. But this is fine. I'm happy. I'm not going to go back over that. Right, so what you need to do now, in fact, let's turn that over, it's a bit distracting. The 2 ways that I decorated this. One was I used a white gel pen and my gold wink of Stella, and the other one I used my clear wink of Stella with the gold. And I've already started 2 here so that we don't have to, you don't have to sit and watch me do a whole sheet. Now this is the one that I have done using the white gel pen. As you can see, I've coloured it by doing just like stripes. I don't want a solid colour in there. Okay, so I've done the big flowers, and in fact I think what I've done is I've done everything, but I've just left one of these, and I thought I left one of the, oh yeah, one of the globes there as well. So what I'm going to do, my white gel pen, I wonder if I should bring you down a bit. Make sure I don't press the wrong button. The amount of times I've done that and pressed the stop button instead. Also, you don't know about it because it's stopped and I had to start again. Right, okay. So let's do the little ball one first. Okay, so that's this one here. So all I do is just little lines, because I don't want solid. Okay, so that's all I do on that one. I don't do the leaves, I leave those. So the big flower, I've done most of it here. I just saved some sections here to do. This is the sheet that I'm going to use to actually do our card. When I've got big areas like this, I tend to do little sections, smaller lines, and then join them all up. I just love the amount of different ways that there are of colouring when it comes to card making. I know a lot of us don't like colouring. I'm not overly fond of it, but when it's something like this, it's great. Right, now this little one, I'm only going to do these small petals because the ones in the centre I'm going to do with my gold wink of Stella. And this one here, which is just stripy bits too. This just lends itself so beautifully to this. And also, I don't see why this couldn't be done with other gel pens as well. Different colours. I haven't got that far with my playing yet. Right, so that's all of those done now, isn't it? So then I took my gold wink of Stella and I just coloured the centres. Like that. That one I've already done. There's this one. There we go. I think that's all of it now. Okay, so that's how I do the white one. So the other one that I do is, if you can see it there, the wink of Stella. I've just started painting the, or at least colouring the leaves, the petals in with that. It looks absolutely superb in real life. Obviously I don't know how it's bringing it up on the screen. It's close enough, so hopefully you can see the real beauty of it. And all I do is I just go in and paint over the ink. And from where I am, it's changing the colour. It's taking it more like a orangey rose red. I'm only going to do this one particular flower because, as I say, I'm going to use the other sheet for our card today. And then once I've done that bit, I will just do the centre in gold. There we go. So there's something else that you can do and create your own designer series paper for backgrounds. Isn't that lovely? Right, so I'll finish that one off some other time, put that with the other one that's drying off. So this is what I'm going to be using now. I didn't measure that that was the right size, did I? Well, that's very clever of me. Well, how lucky is that? Okay, right, so what I need to do next is the die cutting. So I need the square, the numbers, and not those. Right, I'll get the big shot up. Oh, sorry. Oh, we need to move you up a bit now. I think that's okay. Right, so what we need is the numbers are from the large numbers set. There's actually 2 sets in here, as you can see. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. But these are large number framelits. And you get 11 in each set. The number 9 is the same as the number 6. So as I did a 90 birthday card over there, I'm going to do a 60 this time. And for the squares, I'm using the layering squares, and the scalloped one is what I call the size 9. And with me, the way I count my dies, if I can just get that one on, is I start with the smallest straight cut, so that's number 1. Then to the next size, it's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I do exactly the same with these as well. So that was number, what did I say? Don't want to tell you wrong. The scallop one with number 9, and the straight cut is number 7. All these details will be on the screen or in the box, and in the box below rather, depending on which device you're watching on. Okay, so there's the numbers and those. To get it all done in one go. Right, so the numbers first. Okay, so that's 0. And a 6. The square and the scalloped square. So that's all we need the big shop for. And we need the sentiment. And what did I do inside the card? I think that was a stamp, wasn't it? Yes. Right, let's do the stamp for the inside first. And that came from Better Together, was it? Yes, Better Together, which is a 2 stamp set. I'm using the Happy Birthday for the sentiment, and that's the little bit that I'm doing on the inside. So I need my ink back again. Make sure it's up the right way. I'm just going to place that in the centre and hope I can do it sort of straight. Yep, that's good. So I'm going to pop that inside the card. I'm using Tombow. You can use whatever your preferred adhesive is for this. Right, and we're not having any ribbon around our card, so we might as well put these two pieces on. I'm not sure if there's a right way or not with the design on the designer series paper. I just look at each individual piece and decide which I think is right. I'm going to assume that that's up the right way. There we go. I'm going to pop this onto my card. There we go. Now, to adhere my square onto my Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, I'm going to use blue dots, and like I do with my dimensionals, I'm going to put one in each corner and one in the centre, so that can pop on there. I think that could come over a bit. That looks better. And then I'm going to put my number on there. Again, I'm using Tombow for this. This glimmer paper has like a sheet of plastic on the back of it, and it takes a bit longer for it to actually stick. So I like to get my get the pieces in position and then put it to one side for a little while so it can dry without me moving the pieces about. The only good thing is it does give me a chance to straighten up if I need to. Right. There we go. Leave that one there. Now I need to do the sentiment, and I'm going to do that and heat emboss it in white. So first of all I need my embossing buddy, and Versamark. It doesn't matter that this is quite stained, I suppose. Now I need to get my head forward with this because this just about fits in there. Just make sure I've got it out the right way first. That's it. Right. That's as far forward as I can come. There we go. That's it. So now I need my white embossing powder, which I keep in this box here. And then if I use my tweezers, I can dip that in there, get it nicely covered, shake it off. There we go. Oh, looks as if I've got a bit extra there somewhere. Let me see if I reach my brush to get that little bit off. No way am I going to try that with my fingers. Right. I get so close. And I think, shall I leave it or shall I take a chance on getting a bit more off? But I think I will just leave it. I know if I try too much I'm going to spoil it. Right, so leave that like that. Move that out of the way. Now I'm going to put my heater on, my heat gun for a minute. Won't take too long. Bear with me. There we go. I think that's all done. And what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to put some glue dots on the back, and then I'm going to pop it onto my Dazzling Diamond Glimmer paper. Even though this piece is quite a lot smaller than the other piece of cardstock I was sticking onto glimmer paper, I still put my 5 dots on there. Let's see if I can get this right first time. Nope, not quite. Just bring this end down a bit. Yes, that's okay. Right, so now that one I did that way round. Shall we change it? Yes, let's just make it look a little bit different. And I'm going to put these on here with dimensionals. So that's one in each corner. And one in the centre. And this one too. This one probably doesn't need it in the middle, but it's getting one. Right, let me put this one on first. I think that's okay. I'm not pressing it down just yet. If you copy this technique onto the this designer series paper, I'd love to see what you come up with. Right, let's just pop this down. I have found that it's quite a challenge to find a design for the greeting cards with such a heavy design pattern here. But I think by having these big sentiments and numbers on it, I think that deals with it really nicely. So there's that card. The first one that I started, which I'm not 100% happy with, because I feel that it needs something down here, but as always I show you. The rim there was made with some retired circles that we used to have. I've put the alternatives of that on my blog today. And the other 3 that I've done are all 3 using the patterns rather than this heavy design. Okay, so this one, it's the circles, and I was a lot happier once I started doing this rather than having the back with the vellum on it and not covering all of it. I should have put a complete circle at the back. That's in mint macaroon. This one's pool party. Again, I should have put a complete backing there. I think that would have looked a lot nicer. And the other one is the stripes. I was quite pleased how this one came out as well. So I've got those 6, and I was going to show you the other 2 designs that you haven't seen. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a heavy design which I don't think will take either of the white gel pen or the wink of Stella, because it's the same flower all over, but I imagine that would make a really stunning background just as it is. And then this one, this would be brilliant for either of the 2 that I showed you with the white gel pen or the wink of Stella. I can imagine that looking lovely. As I say, if you do use this technique, I really would love to see what you do, because I just think there are just so many possibilities with it. Let's bring you out a little bit so you can see these a bit better. But I thoroughly enjoyed playing with this. It was quite a learning curve. Part of it was what I've been doing on my blog recently, and that is using up bits that I've already die cut, like the heart, oh no, not that one, I did that today. The frames and this bit here, I'd die cut them previously for other projects I was doing, but never actually got around to using them. And that's what I've been trying to do, get them used up. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below or email me at janb@janbcards.com. I'd love to hear from you. Always very happy to help. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, I'll put a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below, and I would really appreciate your business. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to see more, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which is normally every Wednesday and Sunday. Finally, I will put all the measurements and all the products on the screen. If you can't see them on the screen because of whatever device you're watching on, if you click on show more below the video, that will open up the box, and not only will there be the link to my 24/7 online shop and the comments box, but there'll also be all the measurements and the products. I'll put it all down there for you, so it's all nice and convenient. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.